to be on the edge of control.
I like the speed. I like the battles, defying the odds. I want to be champion.
Very good move from Connor Duncan. And now he's only got one man to pass. Get back into the lead. Here comes Jocelyn. Oh no, Usakov! Goodness me! Usakov rolls the car. Now that's going to be a very sore shoulder in the morning. That's a big moment for the championship contender. Let's have another look at it. Jocelyn gets on the inside and its front wheel connects with rear wheel. There is nothing either driver can do about it at that point. And they're nearly 4 wide as they come through the first S's. And that's Bowman on the curbs. Oh, he spat into the side of Clark and gone. And that's the championship leader. Hinchley's gone with Rennie. Hinchley and Rennie come together. Hinchley trips over the front fairing there, and that is him and Rennie off to the sidelines. And here comes Hinchley up to second place now. Can he snatch the win? No! They tag wheels, he and Horton. Fairbrother through in a second, and Neo Clark is going to romp home to the victory.
Although cut short by COVID in 2020, the Ultimate Karting Championship still saw some great action, as we've just seen in those few clips there. And now we're back here at Whilton Mill in Northamptonshire for the opening round of the 2021 season. And with over 250 drivers registered to take part, well, you can expect more of the same. With the final round in 2020 cancelled due to the pandemic, let's bring you up to speed now then with the champions in each of our racing classes. Here's Alan Tadei with the rundown.
One of the most popular classes in UKC last year was Honda Cadet. Blake Ticehurst took the win by 4 points from Ewan Sharman. He was actually tied with Connor Duncan on 139, with Gustavs Yusukovs just 1 point back in fourth place. Henry Jocelyn rounded out the top 5. In Junior Rotax, Louis Gardner took the win by just 1 point from Matty Hinchley. Gabe Fairbrother in third, Tristan Rennie and Neo Clark rounding out the top 5 in this one. No Matty Hinchley racing this year, he's working. In Senior Rotax, James Lingard's consistency won the day. He never won any finals during the season, but it was enough to give him a 12-point championship advantage over George Smith by the end of the season, with Miles Barthorpe there in third place. In Iami Super Cadet, Nathan Tye and Finn McLaughlin were in a world of their own. 163 for Tye, 151 for Finn McLaughlin, with Macaulay Bishop back in third place on 117. He was followed home by Charlie Hart and Alfie Slater. In Mini X30, Gabriel Stilp took the win on 166 from Vinnie Phillips on 157. Leo Robertson was third from Rylan Ekberg and Henry Gregory. Hassan Hobson, Rippin Stevens and Freddie Allen rounded out the top 10. Junior X30 looked like this. It was Luke Watts who won comfortably from Sam Shaw, some 29 points ahead. Darryl Taylor was third from Harry Burgoyne Jr. Jess Edgar, who took the win at Wigan in what proved to be the final round, rounded out the top 5. In Senior X30, Connor Jupp took the win, 3 points ahead of Matt Armstrong. The points Caden McQueen secured by winning the final at Wigan at the final round gave him third place in the end from Callum Bradshaw and Carly Atkins.
So let's kick things off with our first final in 2021. And for the Ultimate Karting Championship, it's a new cadet class. Micromax is for drivers from 8 to 12 and features a single-make Sodi Kart chassis, with all drivers on the same package of car and engine supplied by the Sodi Kart Academy, something Charles Leclerc was part of during his junior karting career. Let's have a look at the highlights then from the opening race of the season. Here's Jake Sanson with the grid positions.
So we start the 2021 Ultimate Karting Championship powered by Nitro Lord with Micromax. Dalton Hayward and Zane Quaker from Rory Armstrong and Braden Williamson, then Mulvaney and Brown, Gomez and Rump. And it's going to be a fabulous battle for the 11 karts that are out there on circuit here at Whilton Mill. Slightly greasy start to the weekend, and that could make things very hairy as our Sodi Kart Academy drivers from Micromax are going to be battling their way around the circuit. All identical karts, and away we go to the first corner, and already a nice battle as the drivers charge their way forward. Dalton Hayward trying to hold on to the lead as they go out of Oblivion and up to Manuel's Bank. They go along the straight now and into Christmas. Nice move on the inside. That looks like a dive for third position. Straight through on the inside there from the hard-charging Sam Green Gomez. So Sam Green Gomez gets his move and up into third position. Excellent start. And there was not a lot Rory Armstrong could do about that one. They come through. Oh, one or two karts going wide. I think that was actually Sam Green Gomez losing ground and dropping down to fourth position again. So easy to go wide there on the right-hand hairpin. And he slots into fourth position behind Rory Armstrong. And now there's the battle up front between them as they charge through. Green Gomez straight back on the horse, gets into third position, but he runs wide on the exit of the toe of the boot and into the ankle. He's there, absolutely beautifully done, and it's run wide once again for Green Gomez. Excellent start to the season from Micromax. Great battles.
All action first lap, Jake, for Micromax, the first race of the weekend. In the boot, it was Max Mason that took advantage of Sam Green Gomez running wide, Armstrong down the inside, and Max Mason did himself a brace. That is Max pictured on screen, and this is the battle for third place. And look at the lead that Quaker and Hayward have out front. That is remarkable in such a short period of time. We know they've both got pace with what they've been doing this season already, as Sam Green Gomez runs wide off the grey and onto the green, and he is now going to come under pressure from Braden Williamson, I think it is, in behind him. This is that battle for second place. Green Gomez chasing.
And he's now fallen off the back bumpers of Mason and Armstrong. He's got to try and get back on with it. Out of the final turn, it's so slippy in these opening couple of laps when you're trying to get tyres up to temperature. In the Sodi Kart Academy class, it's all even, so it comes down to driver skill. Zane Quaker bangs in a fast one, 51.657 into lap 3.
Mason in third, Armstrong fourth. Armstrong comes from Northern Ireland pretty much every single weekend to race. He is putting in a huge commitment every single weekend, Jake.
Yeah, really good to see drivers coming from all over to race in this championship.
Indeed they are, no doubt about that. Later in the race, still Quaker out front. Armstrong has made his way through to third as we rejoin it.
This could be a really exciting run, and Dalton Hayward's got to pick his moment wisely. Quaker's just got to keep his cool. He has the lead, he has the advantage. Here we go, into the left, the ankle, up towards the toe, through the right, Quaker sliding. This could be the chance for Hayward alongside, and as they go into the heel, he's got him. Beautiful move from Dalton Hayward. That could not have been timed better.
Great move into the last lap, then it's Hayward that has it, but for how long? Quaker is going to have a look up the inside, I think, in Christmas corner. We're on the straight now. Here he comes down the inside. Quaker back into the lead.
Oh, this is so close. They bang wheels. You can see the paint that's been rubbed off the graphic of his side pod as they connect through the exit of Christmas, up through Ashby and on the run down the hill. This is going to be a very tight chance for Hayward to get back in there on Quaker. I think Quaker's timed it perfectly to retaliate at Christmas. I'm not sure Hayward's going to get close enough again to have a go as they come to the boot. Quaker set him up, timed him nicely through Crook and Oblivion to get back onto the bumper, up Manuel's Bank and out of Christmas, got the move done, and he holds on for the victory. Great racing between the two. Zane Quaker takes it from Dalton Hayward in second position. Excellent racing, and what a battle all the way through the field. Rory Armstrong clinches third position. Look at the frustration from Sam Green Gomez. He knows he could have been third today. Zane Quaker is victorious from Dalton Hayward and Rory Armstrong. Mason, Williamson and Green Gomez. Bo Rocky Mulvaney in seventh from Liam Welsh. Then Jacob Rump and Jacob Backler rounding out the top 10. But it's a great start to the season for Zane Quaker as he is victorious in Micromax in brilliant style.
there we go, that's our first final here at Whilton Mill, and it was just a tale of those two young racers who were way out in front of the rest of the field, Zane Quecker and Dalton Hayward. It looked like Zane had it all wrapped up, then they traded places. Dalton had it in the bag with 1 lap to go, but in the end, Zane took that position back and our first win of the programme. Here's what he had to say when I caught up with him at the podium. Tell us how you're feeling, looking ahead to the next round when we go to Cumbria next. What are you thinking about before that next round now?
I feel excited and confident.
Well, best of luck, sir. You'll be confident because you won this weekend. Well done. We'll see you there.
Thanks.
Quick look at the championship points, 62 apiece after Hayward won the pre-final and Quaker won that final there. So a tie on points moving forward to round 2. Rory Armstrong is in third on 54 from Braden Williamson on 50. Then comes Mulvaney, Green Gomez, Mason, Brown, Rump and Backler in the top 10.
Join us after the break when the action continues with the Junior Rotax class. Welcome back to Whilton Mill, where next out on track it's the ever popular Junior Rotax class. And earlier on I caught up with Henry Beaumont, who'll be driving his Tony Kart numbered 16 for Liam Wright Racing, to see what he's thinking ahead of the weekend and why he enjoys the class so much. So Henry, great to see you here racing this weekend. Tell us a little bit about Junior Rotax. What was it about Junior Rotax that you decided that was the class you were going to race in?
It seems like quite a competitive grid here. There's a good mix of drivers between like really good drivers and some like midfield drivers, and also you need a good like skill to drive in Rotax. Rotaxes have a bit more power than the X30s, but the X30s are a bit grippier.
And so as we stand here at Whilton Mill, what are some of the things that you have to think about when racing your car at Whilton Mill? What's the key to doing well around this circuit?
You have to be really like smooth to really get the most out of the karts. The Rotax is definitely bogged down a lot more than X30s. That's why you need to be really smooth on the power to stop it bogging down.
And just tell us a little about your journey into karting. How did you get into karting? How old were you when you started and what did you do before this?
I can't exactly remember how old I was, but I was in Norfolk and my dad took me to this like local kart track that was there. Seemed to like it, so I went to my local kart track quite a lot. I then stepped up to these like proper karts.
Now I understand as well, Henry, that when you're not karting and you're at home, you've actually got a simulator to practice on. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to keep the skills up when I'm not karting, and also great fun to like play with my friends.
And what are some of the circuits? Can you actually choose circuits that we would know on your simulator?
Well, I've got Kart Sim, so pretty much all the UKC tracks are on there, apart from one which I'm pretty sure is Warden Law.
It's our opening round of the UKC this weekend. What would be a good result for you? What are you hoping for come Sunday night?
My aim is top 15, but something like top 10 would be really nice.
All right, well, Henry, best of luck for that and hope you go well.
Okay.
Well, let's see how Henry gets on then in the very first Junior Rotax final of the season. Here's Jake Sanson with the rundown on the grid. So, Jake, where did he qualify?
Well, he's made it to the A final, which is very impressive indeed in a field of 50. Dan Ginchard and Harry Linden from Neo Clark and Stephen Duncan, Hart and Usakov, Smith and Bradbury, and then Ben Foland and Joe Garraway rounding out the top 10. From Gallagher and Sharman, Jackson McKay, then Pullen, Taylor and the rest. 20th is Beaumont, Fairbrother is there in 21st. Keep an eye on Dan Parent-Smith in 24th position. And all the way through to P36. Ty Cuthbert, one of the newer faces in this category. And it'll be interesting to see what he can do as they charge forward. Junior Rotax is underway in 2021. Big defensive move from Dan Ginchard as he goes straight into the first corner, into the lead. And if he is going to be as fast as he has been so far in 2021, none of the other drivers in the field will see which way he went. Here's his teammate, Ewan Charman, trying to get through onto the inside line. In the middle of the hustle as they come out of Inkermans and up towards Ashby, getting very racy in there behind Gardner. Can he get through? No, it's a very defensive move there from, well, I say Gardner. He's actually got Gardner's suit on. It's Ben Foland in the 82. Always very easy to catch us out there by wearing someone else's suit.
Catches us out all the time. The kick-swapping suits.
Proper wheel-to-wheel stuff as Alex Cole was getting in there wheel-to-wheel in the middle of the pack. And the field works its way down through the heel. And look at Dan Ginshard's lead already. He's absolutely disappearing out front.
Look at the marbles on the outside, Jake. I was mentioning that in the previous race. All that discarded rubber on the outside. You don't want to get two wheels on that, because it will slip you straight into the barrier.
Lovely move from Stephen Duncan. He gets the overtaking move there into Christmas, so he's up another place. And that's the move for third position from Linden. Linden gets through there on Charlie Hart. Hart is trying to keep Uzakov at bay. Uzakov round the outside. There's Ben Foland in front. Charman in behind him. Not for long. You and Charman going to make the move. Thank you, buddy. I'll have that place if you don't mind. Even if you do mind, I'll still have it.
Neo Clark with the fastest lap dictated by in green on the left-hand bar. It's another move for a place in behind our onboard cameraman.
I think that was Alfie Gallagher getting through there into the position. So a nice move there from the 27 as he gets up another place. Dan Ginshard, 7/10 clear already of Neo Clark. Ginshard really has been writing the form book in 2021, not just in Rotax, but in X30 as well, in multiple categories. Oh, contact and a spin. Pullen and Fairbrother negotiating the same bit of racetrack, and they're still disputing it as they recover. Fairbrother not happy at all. So out in front, it is still Dan Ginshard who leads the way, doing a sensational job on the Kart Republic chassis, run by the Argenti Motorsport team, only in their second karting season and doing a fantastic job, even into Europe nowadays. You've got drivers like Kimi Antonelli and Alex Powell on their books in the international grade. Dan Ginshard is literally waiting for the phone call. When can I go to Europe? When can I go and play in the FIA? Surely it can't be long.
Can't be long. He's out front at the moment with the fastest lap, and I don't see anybody catching him as things stand at the moment. More moves being made in the midfield.
Nice move from Lucas Jex. He gets the move on Ben Foland there. So Ben Foland trying to work his way back into position, but Lucas Jex, a nice overtaking move there in the 86. 45.7 from Dan Ginshard. He's just in charge. Absolutely in charge of the field here.
He's put another 2/10 on the field in that lap alone. So I can't see anyone catching Ginshard with his pace at the moment. On board again with Ewan Sharman.
Remember in the days when he was in Mike Spencer's ordering and they were battling 7 bells out of each other in Honda Cadet? And now look at him, he's just absolutely storming away in Junior Rotax. Ewan Sharman, his teammate, in the middle of the battle. Did he get the move done there on Bradbury? Looked like he was sizing up a move. Didn't quite see whether it ended Sharman's way or not. But Daniel Ginshard is keeping that gap in the lead of the race over Neo Clark and Charlie Hart, who are now teaming up to try and catch him. He's keeping the gap ahead of them, steady at about a second or so, trying to extend it to as much as a second and a half. You don't want to push too hard too soon. The thing is, you've got to be working incredibly hard on brake temperatures, tyre temperatures. Everything has to be micromanaged through the course of the race. This could just be Ginshard just saving his tyres, of course. It's a long race. Still another 6 minutes left on the clock. So you've just got to edge your way through. You've got to be careful about how fast you gung-ho and push around the circuit. But Ginshard has the measure of this kart on this circuit out in front. Clark and Hart, Uzakov, Linden, Bradbury, Duncan, Sharman, Gallagher and Nathan Smith in the top 10. It's a brilliant racecraft so far from the drivers. This is the battle way down the order between Leishman, Ardolino, McKay, Beaumont and Scrivener. It's amazing race battles. Mitchell is in there as well. This is 25th all the way down to 30th. Look at the scrabble as drivers are trying to find every little piece of tarmac they can. And 2 or 3 of them coming a cropper, not able to keep it on the racetrack for long.
Well, that was a battle for 25th. How did the drone pilot know that was going to happen that far down the field?
I tell you what, that guy can spot disaster at 20 paces. Excellent spot. And so the racing carries on up in front. Ginshard, Clark and Hart are well clear, but this is where the real action is at the moment. Juicy 3-man scrap brewing between Uzakov, Linden and Bradbury, having a terrific scrap for 4th position. And Gustav Uzakov, let's not forget, he has rebounded splendidly since his season-ending crash at the end of last year's UKC competition at Three Sisters. We saw it at the beginning of the programme as he barrel rolled out of the final turn. Oh, look at this squabble. This is a good one. 45 and 31, very close together. Angus Scrivener losing out to Sam Ardolino. This battle just will not cease. A big lunge on the inside. outside from Harry Pullen as he fights to get himself back into contention after his earlier incident with Fairbrother. Squeezing to the inside. He deals there nicely with Alex Duncan and holds on.
You were talking about Usakov's there, Jake, that crash we saw at the beginning of the programme, of course, and that is a crash that tests your character when you come back the next time in karting. I remember it happens to my son, got flipped over. Next time he came out, he went 4 wide down the inside, 2 wheels on the grass, so I knew that it had not affected him at all. But Usakov's is made of strong stuff, and it's clearly not affected him at all. He's right at the front end of the grids he's been racing in, leading up to this championship through the winter and the early part of the summer. And Usakov's there in 4th. That's a great effort straight out of Honda Cadet.
Certainly is. There's a Disney movie somewhere where there's a quote that says, "There is nothing to fear but fear itself." Gustav Usakov clearly has absolutely no fear as he pushes right up into the top 6 in his first Junior Rotax UKC event of 2021. Ginchard 1.8 now clear of Clark and Hart, who are still trying their best to work in unison to get this battle won and to close in on the race leader. Usakov, Linden and Bradbury very much on their own as they battle over 4th position, but they're not quite close enough to each other for a bit of badinage. This man out in front though, Dan Ginchard, he's just controlled the pace throughout, and that new racing helmet of his, the gold and red that he's got for the 2021 season, you're going to be seeing that a hell of a lot at the front of the field in this season.
Usakov's getting closer in 4th place. How long left? Minute 10. Probably not close enough to make a move for the podium.
There's Ty Cuthbert, one of the new recruits to the Ultimate Karting Championship in 2021. Social media kingpin that he is. Great battle for 19th. We've got James Jackson, Joe Garraway, Max Taylor and Reese Duthie having a great scrap. They are really pushing on hard in the closing stages. And they've got to be in that battle because one day they could be racing for this position. Up front, Dan Ginchard leading the way and taking the checkered flag in fantastic style. He has absolutely blitzed the field here this weekend. And what a victory to kickstart his charge in the 2021 UKC. Excellent job. Dan Ginchard, your winner of the first round of the championship. Neo Clark in 2nd from Charlie Hart. Gustav Usakov, Ted Bradbury and Harry Linden in the top 6. From Stephen Duncan, Ewan Sharman, Nathan Smith and Ben Folan. But Dan Ginchard has sent a warning shot to the opposition. If you want this title, you're going to have to wrestle me to the ground for it.
But once he got out in front, he really didn't look trouble, did he? Daniel Guinchard there, a lights the flag victory for him ahead of Neo Clark. But the 2 young men who finished in 3rd and 4th really deserve some high praise indeed, both stepping up from younger classes. Charlie Hart, kart number 50, puts himself on the 3rd step of the podium there. And in 4th place, Gustav Usakovs, who stepped up from the Honda Cadets. Let's find out what they had to say at the podium. So Daniel, you must be hugely thrilled. You got yourself in pole for that final there. You got out in front and you stayed there. You've taken the first win of the season.
Yeah, to be honest, it was quite not a calm race, but I kind of managed the gap after the start. I got a really strong start and the guys behind me were really keeping me honest, but I was just trying to keep the gap consistent without making any mistakes.
Well, that's exactly what I was about to say. They really were keeping you honest. You had a lot of concentration because you were leading pretty much from the off. And what's it like when you're doing that many laps out in front? How do you keep your head?
You just have to sort of remember what you're doing. You know, you have to remember the lines, make sure you're not pushing too hard to kill the tyre, especially in a long race like that.
And just a word about Charlie Hart in 3rd there, kart number 50. He's only stepped up to the class this year. He's going to be a contender for you, chasing you this year, I'm sure.
Oh, definitely. I always love a bit of competition.
All right, best of luck. We'll see you at the next round.
Thank you.
Championship points not taken into account. There may be a bonus point added for the fastest lap. That will update as the season goes on, but it's Ginchard that leads it by 10 points. Handy lead from Neo Clark. Charlie Hart there in 3rd from Linden Usakovs, Duncan Bradbury, Smith Folland and Ewan Sharman rounding out the top 10.
Don't go anywhere because we're back with more opening round action here at Whilton Mill for the Ultimate Karting Championship. Welcome back to Whilton Mill, where next out on track it's the turn of our first senior class of the weekend, the ever-popular Senior Rotax. Some of these drivers have been racing karts since they're about this high, and that experience should certainly show. It always makes for great racing. So here's your race commentator, Jake Sanson, with the grid positions.
55 competitors down to 36 for the final. Sean Butcher and Lewis Gilbert on the front row from George Holbrook and Ben Casely. What a quartet. Kai Hunter and Tristan Rennie, Lingard, the reigning champion, and of course Louis Harvey there in 8th position. Watch the battle in the midfield as well. You'll see the likes of Machi Himera getting forward. Tommy Edmonds could be an interesting bet in this one. Watch out for the likes of Oscar Houle and Jay Lewis trying to fight their way through. Sam Hawthorne way down the order. Didn't get a great run earlier on. Will be fighting his way back, as will Ollie Meadows and Axel Laflamme from the back row. Here we go, charging through the first corner, and it's a great start. George Holbrook we ride on board with. That's the Dolride Diamond behind us, getting a little bit loose on the first corner as they come up Manuel's Bank and in towards Christmas. This is going to be a bit of a traffic jam. Through Christmas, is everybody through? Well done, everybody keeping it nice and tidy as we go for the lead on lap 1. Big launch through from Holbrook as he dives through on Sean Butcher and takes the lead. I think George Holbrook's had his Weetabix this morning, charging his way through to the front. Excellent racing as they now dive through Parker and up towards Chapman's into the left-hander. But is there going to be a retaliation nice and early from Sean Butcher? Or will he play the long game? Watch out for his teammate as well, Ben Casely. He's slipped to 6th position, but he's still got pace. He's been rapid all weekend as the 53. So Ben Casely with a big card and a big role to play in this one as they complete the first lap. Everybody through relatively cleanly. There's the Dolride Diamond. Lewis Gilbert in 5th position. A big slide is James Lingard, the leading seed, the UKC title winner last season. The privateer has got his way back into 5th position past Casely. And it's Rennie, Harvey, Matthews and Alex Eads in the top 10 from Smith, Fitton and Himera. Amazing racing at the front of the field, but Lewis Gilbert hanging on to 3rd place in front of Kai Hunter. Kai Hunter running well. And of course, Brother Reese now has his own race team to manage.
And that's another overtake for the league, and then going through is the 27. That is Sean Butcher, so the man who was on the front row is back at the front of the field.
Yeah, Sean Butcher, the Australian who is based these days in London, of course, doing a fantastic job in getting his way back to the front end of the field, deciding to run a campaign in Great Britain this year, having had a couple of seasons in the European wing of Miami, so has done a great job. But like many drivers in the British field, you can switch between Miami and Rotax fairly seamlessly. These guys battling very well, and they've got the skill to be diverse as well as quick. Lewis Gilbert, the Dolride Diamond, fast and furious already, 45.7, straight back onto the tail of George Holbrook and looking to make his way into 2nd position. Casey's back through on James Lingard, so he's back in a 5th position. Great racing in the early stages from both Gilbert and Casey as they make their way back into contention. Gilbert all over the back of George Holbrook as they come up towards the first corner. In through Crook, in through Oblivion. Look at how massive the slide is from the Tony Kart chassis of Gilbert. Here he goes on the inside. That'll do nicely. And he takes over 2nd position. Great move from Gilbert. And now there's Holbrook's teammate, Kai Hunter, trying to make his own impression on the man in 3rd place.
These cameras are absolutely sick, Jake. I think that's what the kids call it.
They do, yeah, they do.
They are absolutely incredible.
Oh, Gilbert, he runs wide. And that's Holbrook and Hunter through into 2nd, into 3rd. So now Gilbert has got to try and fight his way back. Great racing and great defending from Casey as he holds Lingard at bay. You've got Harvey, Rennie, Eads and Smith all duking it out for position further back. Look, a big lunge there from Tristan Rennie, I think, to try and get through into position as they go side by side over the line. And Kai Hunter, as we know, now on the back of his teammate George Holbrook as they set off after Sean Butcher. Well, not for long. Hunter's decided, well, I'm going to be the fastest driver of the two of us, so I'm going to get through. I'm going to lead the pack, and you're going to work with me, George. That's the way this script is going to be written. Here's Gilbert, though, on the inside, gets back into 3rd place. Oh, and off goes Holbrook. Holbrook on the grass, and there goes Lingard, there goes Casey. So Holbrook down to P6.
Well, great action in this field. 55 drivers in this field. 250 drivers have registered for the championship this year. 230 are here at the opening round. And this class last year, Jake, when we covered it at Wigan, which ended up being the final round, I don't remember, there was, what, how many, 15 in it? Something like that, 15 or 16 in this class. 55 this year, only 36 have made this A final. But what a race we've got already.
Well,
More places made up.
Yes, indeed. I mean, you've got to take into account there's a lot of factors in this. Oh, look at that. Elbows out big time for Tristan Rennie as he battles with Louis Harvey. And that's enough for the two. George Smith to tuck in on the inside line and get through as well. Brilliant racecraft, but you've got to take these things into account. Last year was a COVID-ridden year. There were a lot of drivers who weren't able to do a full program of racing. They didn't know from one week to the next whether they were allowed to go outside, never mind compete in karting at the highest possible level with testing under their belt. But what a season opener this is turning out to be. Karting is back, and the Ultimate Karting Championship bigger and better than ever in 2021. Let's go back on board, and we can see just how intense the preparation is. Now, look, you noticed there with George Holbrook, he's actually adjusting the position of the radiator cover. That's to keep the engine temperature optimal. He's got a dial on his steering wheel that tells him everything he needs to know. Engine temperature, exhaust temperature, water temperature. They even record lateral G on those things.
Yeah, you can put the flap obviously up. You can raise it to expose the radiator to the oncoming breeze. And that will obviously cool the engine down, so he obviously thinks his engine is a little bit on the warm side. Overtake there by the 21.
Yeah, nice move there by Jones, actually. That was a bit of a cheeky little manoeuvre he popped up on the inside there, so some great racecraft. Oh, that's Ewan McKenna. Ewan McKenna slid off. What a shame for McKenna. Back to the front a little later into the race. Sean Butcher versus Lewis Gilbert. It's that age-old story in senior Rotax. They have grown up together as mates and rivals, colleagues and banter specialists of the circuit as well. They're great friends but great rivals. But it's always fascinating when these two get together on track. There's banter in the paddock, but out on the circuit, it's an absolute war. Hunter, Holbrook, Casey, Lingard and Eads. That's your top 7 in behind the leaders, Butcher and Gilbert. Gilbert's just biding his time. We've been here so many times before, watching the driver in front, just waiting for the moment, hoping to catch the opposition off guard.
He was half a second behind Gilbert. He's now just 2/10 behind as we get down to the business end.
Charlie Turner swarming all over the back of George Smith, and Machi Himera is there for good company in P10, trying to swarm through, getting to the business end of the race. Here's Holbrook. Now this is when they realise, look, you're not going to catch the leaders, so now it's time to go rogue. It's every man for himself, and Holbrook gets through in the 3rd position in the hope that the 2 leaders, Butcher and Gilbert, are going to start battling because he'll be in the box seat.
Absolutely, you always want to be 3rd if you're not out front 1st and 2nd. If they tangle 1st and 2nd, if you're in 3rd, you'll inherit the win, but you won't inherit the win if you're 4th. And whether you're teammates or not, 3rd better than 4th, Jake, because you take a bit of a trophy home.
And look at Holbrook, he's absolutely dropped the hammer. He's passed Hunter and said, bye-bye, buddy boy. I'm going to be the one who gets the win if these two squabble. So here they come, and Gilbert is right underneath Butcher. Butcher is such a hard driver to overtake because he's so good at placing the kart in all the wrong places for the opponent to go for the move. So this is all going to be about who's got the nerves of steel to make the overtake. Gilbert, right in there.
What is it somebody said recently, Jake? It's a marathon, not a sprint. The one that does know about marathons and sprints is Lewis Gilbert. He's not going to do anything silly on this final tour. 4 points difference between coming 1st and 2nd, of course, and Butcher already won the pre-final. There'll be more battles before the war is won.
These two are up for the scrap in 2021. Butcher wins it, Gilbert 2nd. Those two are title contenders without a shadow of a doubt. Where's Casey gone? Casey's gone on the final lap. Mechanical problems for Casey by the look of it. What a shame for Casey. He is out of the race. His teammate Sean Butcher takes the win by less than a 10th to Lewis Gilbert. Holbrook in 3rd from Hunter, Eads and Lingard. Charlie Turner fights to 7th in front of Jones, Rennie and Edmonds. But the lost points for Ben Casey, a championship contender in 2021. That's the worst way for his attack to begin.
Fantastic racing from those senior Rotax drivers there, and I have to say, standing down here trackside at Whilton Mill is just a privilege. Brilliant racing from all involved, but in the finish it was Sean Butcher. He started on pole and he took the checkered flag. Well done to him, fighting off challenges throughout, but it was a strong drive, and here's what he had to say when I caught up with him at the podium. So Sean, huge congratulations. You took pole there for the final. You got yourself out in front, and then it was just a case of, you know, staying there. But you were chased down by Lewis Gilbert quite a bit. Was it a tough race from your point of view?
Yeah, it was a really tough race. Obviously, we lost the lead in the first few laps, but managed to get it back. And then obviously I saw Lewis coming back at the end, and that's when I had to start pushing. And I think I managed it really well. But obviously Lewis is very fast, so something to work on in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And coming into those last few corners on that last lap there, Lewis was really pushing you. What's going through your mind when that kind of thing's happening?
Yeah, I was a bit scared whether he'd go for the move or not, but I know he's a sensible driver, so didn't have to cover silly. So, yeah.
Brilliant. Well, 2 weeks from now, we'll be in Rowrah in Cumbria. Is that a circuit you know well? Are you now looking forward to that weekend after this win?
Yeah, I think we're going into it on a high, definitely. Yeah, really looking forward to it. I really love Rowrah, so we'll see what we can do.
Well, best of luck, and we'll see you there.
Okay, thank you, mate.
Pre-final and final wins for Sean Butcher give him the maximum 66 points. There may be a bonus point on offer. As I said earlier, we'll update that as the season goes on. Lewis Gilbert and George Holbrook round out the top three. Kai Hunter will not be far away at the end of the season, and nor will last year's champion, James Lingard.
Well, the action out on track continues right after this from here at Whilton Mill for the opening round of the Ultimate Karting Championship. Welcome back to Whilton Mill. The Honda Cadet class has proved to be one of the most popular cadet classes in the UK over the last 5 years, and it always draws a big grid of drivers. Earlier on, I caught up with a couple of the team managers to have a chat about the class and ask them exactly why that is.
I'm Luke Hines. I'm team principal of SFR Motorsport. I think it's a fairly equal class, more affordable. I've enjoyed the Honda class. I think it's a lot easier to work with, where two-stroke, you've got carburetors involved and a lot of other stuff. So, you know, it makes it easier for us just to work more with the driver, knowing that, you know, it's a lot more equal with the power.
I'm Mike Spencer, and I'm one of two team managers at the Synergy Factory Racing team. It started off as quite an affordable class in cadets in comparison to, say, the IAME. It's quite a level cost in terms of both classes now. And the racing is quite hard at the front with the Honda. I feel that it produces very good drivers when they get into the upper classes.
When we look out at Whilton Mill here today, on that grid there's probably 20, 25 in the class. It's really exciting for these youngsters, and it's a great learning curve for them.
100%, you know, cadets over the years has produced some fairly well-known drivers today in Formula One, and it's great seeing there's some great talent out there, and for sure through cadet you'll see the next F1 star, hopefully.
The experiences you've had at, you know, reaching the top in karting, you know, at the same age these boys did, it must be invaluable for these youngsters. So what are some of the things that you're telling these youngsters as they go out onto the grid at a weekend like this?
It depends on the driver, really. I mean, I just enjoy sort of passing on what I've learned over the years to the younger generation that are coming through. And, you know, if one or two of them get to the Formula One grid, for instance, then that's a satisfaction thing for me.
As I stand here and look at the karts now, I'm seeing a lot more technology on board, but aside from the technology, is it still just, you know, the principle's still the same?
Yeah, the principle's still the same, but you're saying like you've got your data systems now, and, you know, your video footage analysing, and so it's moved on massively. You know.
So it's very much dad and lad racing when I was younger, and it's now gone more towards the bigger race teams running at a much more professional level now in karting. And part of the bit of being a team, if you've got a less experienced driver, they can learn from their more experienced teammates, for instance.
Onboard telemetry and every kid having a GoPro on the kart and all that kind of stuff, while it's useful, it's actually adding to the pressure on the kids as well.
They don't need that pressure, they just need to enjoy it.
And how important do you think is your personal experience of racing in cars and karts? How important is that you're here overlooking all of these youngsters and being able to pass some of that experience on?
Yeah, I just really enjoy it. You know, it's been part of the family for many years, and, you know, it's sort of it's a passion.
Fundamentally, though, if you think back to when you were 9, 10, 11 years old, has it changed all that much? It's still driving a kart, going as fast as you can?
You've still got to go out and get the job done, yes.
Thanks ever so much for talking to us. Have a great weekend.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So let's go and join your race commentator, Jake Sanson, with the grid positions.
Standing start, Honda Cadet has always got adrenaline rushing through its veins. Here's the grid. Thomas Mintz spearing in pole from Noah Wolf and Leon Hasty from Rocco Shenton. Then Noah Barham and Cole Denham from Aris Majauskis and Albert Friend. Giblett, Lee and Finley Lines round out the top 10 from Licata and Bell, Johnston and Musk, Machardi and Gregor Reed. It's a very busy grid, 29 drivers all the way down to the privateer Kaiser Riemann at the back of the field. But this is Whilton Mill and this is Honda Cadet. Anything can happen, and it's about to. Here we go to the first corner. It's Noah Wolf who leads them off into the first corner. Great start from him. And as they come out of Crook, up through Oblivion and on towards Manuel's Bank, The battle is already joined at the front of the field, but it's the 75 who leads it. Thomas Mint-Spearing has got himself into a good lead. We're on board with Leon Hasty as he battles early doors with Noah Barham.
Synergy boys out front 1 and 2, and that's where they want to stay. It's a change for the lead.
That is the move already, coming straight in there from Noah Wolf as he gets through on the inside of Thomas Mint-Spearing. So they've changed lead already. The 44 up in front. In third place, that is the 86 of Rocco Shenton, who is doing a great job in the opening tour. Look at them all swarming through as they get up towards the boot once again. And there is always a frenetic battle. Fast and furious racing here at Whilton Mill in Honda Cadet. Down the drop, in through the heel, and onto the main straight once again. It's Noah Wolf who leads the charge in the 44, right in behind Thomas Mint-Spearing of the Synergy Race team, one of the new faces for 2021, and straight up to the front. There's a name to watch for.
And interesting, been watching that final corner all weekend, Jake. Not so many people running really wide over the concrete now, and that's another move.
It's Hasty. Hasty, our cameraman, has got through into third past Rocco Shenton, so a nice overtake, and it's not going to be long before Noah Barham gets his look. They come through Ashby, and it's already looking pretty hasty between the 3, 4, 5 carts there in behind the two leaders.
It's hasty for hasty, Jake.
Absolutely right. So in they come again, out through the left-hander and onto the back straight. Now this is where they can get a nice lead in to the boot. And it's so far looking very good for Leon Hasty as he runs in third position in front of Shenton and Barham. Cole Denham, Aris Miauskis, Albert Friend, Jacob Giblett-Lee and Finley Lines doing a great job in the top 10 in his first outing of 2021. On board with Hasty, looking back to the man behind him, that's Rocco Shenton, and he's trying to stretch away and chase after these two. But already Thomas Mint-Spearing is playing the long tactical game to try and get away from Hasty, and there behind Noah Wolf. And up the inside, big lunge for the move there from Cole Denham as he gets through. Nice overtake from Denham, and now he's trying to get away from Barham and Miauskis, who are already looking pretty speedy behind him.
Teammates working together, the two out front, and then we've got Denham, Barham and Miauskis. The trio working 5th, 6th and 7th.
Well, these are the two big teams that will battle for the season, aren't they? Oh, nice move. Cheeky manoeuvre from Miauskis as he dives through there. A good little overtake. Hard to get right as well from Aris Miauskis. He gets through, no problem. Oh, a little bit of nudging there, but this is going to be the two-team powerhouse of the season, isn't it? The rivalry in Formula One is Mercedes and Red Bull. The rivalry in Honda Cadet is going to be SFR Motorsport versus Synergy. It's clearly these two teams that have got an advantage out in front. Oh, and a bit of a run wide. That's Mint-Spearing. Mint-Spearing goes wide. Oh, that's dropped him to 5th, maybe to 6th. I think he's going to go back to 7th, 8th by the time he gets out of Christmas. What a shame for Mint-Spearing.
What a disaster for him. Just, you'd put a couple of wheels on the grass and the rest of the cart goes and you have to stay with it. He's got it back together. He's experienced enough, though, to know he's got the pace to get back to the front of the field.
Oh, and that's Hasty. Hasty goes for the lead on Wolf. Goodness me, he was a few car lengths behind him at the start of the lap, and now we're going to get Shenton and Wolf coming back to the inside line. There goes Wolf. Shenton's trying to get through as well, has to hang back. So Rocco Shenton now in third position, trying to charge after the man in second. That's Leon Hasty and Noah Wolf. Here we go, game on.
Fantastic racing and great pictures as usual from the 360 cameras. We've got 360 cameras
Another
in every
run wide.
race.
That's Hasty going wide this time, and Shenton gets through in a second. So Shenton is through. This time Hasty keeps it off the grass, and there goes Cole Denham through into third position.
More action. These cameras are just incredible, Jake.
So now there's a chance for Miauskis. He's going to get on the inside. Thank you very much. Runs wide. Is there going to be a chance for Barham to get through past both of them? No, they just shut the door in time. So Barham can't quite make it up into 4th or 5th. Miauskis is there. Here we go on the inside. A nice run back in there from Leon Hasty as he gets through on Miauskis. And that's held up Barham and Giblett-Lee. So Giblett-Lee, Jacob there in the 7th position, trying to work his way into position. Is there going to be an opportunity for Albert Friend to get in there as well now? The 91 trying to line himself up in the mix. Thomas Mint-Spearing down to 9th as a result of Albert Friend getting through. Max Cuthbert P10, Finley Lines is in P11, just in front of Bell, Reed and Rio Nakata. And then you've got Lachlan Johnston. So fascinating battle. Here they come towards us into Christmas. This could get interesting. The team just forces the issue, storms through on Jacob Giblett-Lee. The trio working together creates the gap on the inside line. By Jacob, we'll take over. Thanks very much. Forceful, but it gets the job done. And the trio obviously working as a unit there to make it happen. And now, oh, it's all going wrong as Jacob Giblett-Lee vaults over the back of Thomas Mint-Spearing's car. Well, he was lucky to get away with that one. To the business end of the race we go, and it's the leading battle for victory now, as Rocco Shenton is desperately trying to get himself into the lead of the race. And under the main straight, that's Ashley Haas in front of them. He needs to get out of the way at a time that's convenient for him, but the onus is on the race leaders to do the overtaking. On board with Leon Hasty. This could get very interesting on the final lap. Cole Denham and Aris Miauskis making massive gains up towards Christmas. He's held up by Hasty as Denham, and there goes Miauskis through into 4th position. Lovely switchback manoeuvre, and he's through into P4. Hasty now having to go defensive into Ashby. Wolf versus Shenton. They've cleared Ashley Haas, so no problems there. It's all about who's going to hold their nerve the longest. Wolf comes out wide, dives back for the inside line to be defensive. He's going to be slower on the exit. Shenton trying to get the switchback down the back straight. Goes right. So too does Wolf to block and protect. Is there going to be one final maneuver? Out of the toe. Last chance, Rocco. And it's going to be tight as Wolf recovers to protect, but they're going to get a slingshot at the outside, side by side to the line. Oh my goodness, Wolf just holds it. Oh my goodness, there was inches in that finish, nothing in it at all between the two in terms of lap speed. Several frustrated drivers at the end of the race there as they come home. But what a close finish that was between Wolf and Shenton. That could not have been much closer out of the final corner, but it's Noah Wolf who hangs on by 14 thousandths of a second. Rocco Shenton second from Aris Miauskis. Thomas Mintz-Spearing climbs to 4th in the end from Max Cuthbert and Noah Barham. Leon Hasty ends up 7th. Cole Denham, Albert Friend and Jacob Giblett-Lee round out the top 10, but Wolf wins by 14 thousandths.
Well, they may be small, but they're certainly mighty, those Honda Cadet karts, aren't they? In the finish, Aris Miauskis came home in 3rd, but the race for 2nd and 1st was really exciting. Rocco Shenton and Noah Wolf were almost glued bumper to bumper for all of it. Rocco did everything he could, even at the end there, trying to get past Noah on the line, but it just wasn't enough. Huge congratulations to Noah, and we're going to see him running again in the IAME Cadets. I wonder if he can do well in that one too. Let's find out what he had to say when I caught up with him at the podium. For quite a few laps there, I was watching the race. I thought, I don't know who's got this. Is it Noah? Is it Rocco? What were you thinking?
I was just thinking, how long can I keep this lead for?
Well, the good news is you kept it all the way to the checkered flag. What are you feeling now before we head to Cumbria in a couple of weeks' time at Rowra?
I'm feeling very excited and I'm very motivated.
Championship points look like this. Noah Wolf has the lead with 62. Thomas Mintz-Spearing's earlier pre-final win has helped him maintain 2nd place despite 4th in that final there. Rocco Shenton's in 3rd from Miauskis, Hasty, Barham Denham, Albert Friend, Jacob Giblett-Lee and Max Cuthbert rounding out the top 10.
Well, that's it from Whilton Mill for this week, but join us next time when we'll be bringing you more action from the remaining classes in this, the opening round of the championship, and you can expect the same incident, action and drama. Until then, see ya.